Last time you were recognized just by your voice, Dick.
Oh, so many times. I could be on the beach, walking the beach, and all of a sudden I'd say something to someone, and the guy says, "I thought it was you." I'm wearing a hat, sunglasses. He says, "Man, I recognize your voice, Dickie V. You can't hide." But my voice has been a great, great asset for me, man. It's helped me in my life. It's helped me financially and every other way.
Yeah, but I know you went through some tough times with your voice, with your throat, and recently.
Yeah.
How bad
really
did it get?
You know, it really got bad, Dan. It was so bad that really, to be honest with you, I used to cry like a baby before a game because I was afraid to go out there. In fact, Dan Schulman would work with me, and in between commercial breaks, I would say, "Dan, I never really be, doing a game is easy. Talking about zones and talking about matchup zones and all the different things that take place. But really, I could do that in my sleep. But the bottom line is, I would say to him, I said, "Dan, am I able to hear me? Are they able?" He said, "Relax, relax." And it really just was driving me nuts. I ended up going to about 7 different doctors. They kept telling me that I had a problem in terms of, all my life, screaming, yelling, coaching. He said a lot of coaches have that problem. But then I went to Dr. Steven Vitale, and he's considered to be the genius in the world of throats. He's unbelievable. He's out in Boston. And I call him the Larry Bird, the Tom Brady, as to what he does. And when I walked into him and I told him, "You get a kick out of this," I said, "Dr. Zeitels, I saw 7 guys, and they've all told me that." He said, "Look, I want to get this straight right now. I've never been talked to like this in my life. I want to get it straight right now. You need me. I don't need you. Okay? Celebrities, I'm not impressed. I'm here to take care of your throat. You're going to have to listen to me." And then he went and did his test. And he came back, called my wife, looked at the monitor, and he said, "Here's his problem." He said he's got all kinds of lesions that really are ulcerated right on his vocal cords, and they got to come out. And I can tell you this, they could be cancer. My God, I was just petrified, petrified. I couldn't wait for the surgery. And fortunately, and I had a thing with John Saunders. John Saunders came when I had the surgery. He and my agent, Sandy Montegos, people were there. And when I said, "John, when I get out of surgery, just do me one favor. Thumbs up if there's no cancer, and don't do anything if it's cancer." And when I came out, and John, I saw his thumbs go up, man, I felt so good. But he told me I had what's called dysplasia, which means it's pre-cancer. And really, we all, Dan, I don't care who we are in life, we all have dilemmas. I lost my eye as a kid. I battled that. I think the key in life, anybody could stand tall when they're giving you trophies and they're telling you the best and you're superstar, but how you handle adversity. And I utilize that in a lot of my motivational speeches across the country. I talk about handling tough times. And I remember losing my eye as a kid. I felt devastated. In fact, I was bullied like you could not believe it. I didn't realize I was bullied. My eye used to go to the side. I thought it was just part of teasing. I'm pitching in the Little League, and I'm hearing parents yell at me, "Hey, does that kid know where he's throwing? Look at his eye. Look at his eye." And I would go to my room, literally, as a kid, and I would cry. And my mother would come in, and she would say, "Well, what's the matter?" I said, "Look at my eye. Look at my eye." I get choked up even thinking about those days, and that was taken care of through a surgeon who saw my wife and my daughters. He was doing a test on them, and he said, "I recognize the name Vitale. Are you related anyway to Dick Vitale?" And she said, "Yeah, that's my husband." So I watch TV. He said, "I'm a basketball fan." He said, "I see his eye is totally going to the side." He said, "I'd like to see him. I think I could help him, even though I deal with kids." Well, my wife begged me to go see him, and I went to see him, and he did surgery. And it was a scary time because Danny told me, he said, "I have to be very honest with you, very honest with you. I have to operate on your good eye to correct your bad eye." And, I hesitated because that's the only eye I see from him. And then he told me, "There's always a chance of losing vision when you operate on that eye. However, I want you to trust me. I have never, ever lost vision in any patient that I've operated on." And I tossed and turned. And then the final thing was one day I'm in the studio working, and I come out, and the receptionist says, "Boy, I'm really so angry." And I said, "What are you angry about?" He says, "This guy keeps calling up. He kept screaming and yelling about, get you off the air. He wants to write letters. He can't stand looking at your eye." And I told him how mean he was. Well, I went home. I was so depressed. I called up Steve Anderson, who you know well, and I said, Steve, he was in charge. I said, Steve, I'm done with TV. I can't do TV. He said, man, we didn't hire you for your eye, we hired you for your enthusiasm, energy, and I finally decided to go and have the surgery, and it changed my looks. I'm no Tom Cruise. I'll never be a Dan Patrick. I'll never be a good-looking guy like that. But at least, but you know what, Dan? The thing is this. I want to message all the people out there. We all have problems. They think that when you're in a limelight a little bit, you're making some money, that life is so perfect. It's not perfect.
He's Dick Vitale, ESPN college hoop analyst, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Let's talk about the tournament itself. When we look at these teams now, it feels like we're looking at the coaches of these teams. Is that a fair barometer of how good a team is or how far they'll go if you bet on their coaches?
Dan, when you look at certain coaches, obviously it jumps at you. You look at, for example, Tom Izzo. You look at guys like Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, John Calipari. These guys have been around. We've gotten so familiar with them. The stability on the collegiate level has been the coaches. On the NBA level, we're talking about the stars, man. Mm-hmm. LeBron, Durant, all those guys. But in college coaching, those coaches have become the stars and are so valuable in the way they get people ready to play, especially in a one and done where you don't get that second opportunity.
The impact of the one and done. And has it been positive that we've at least gotten a glimpse of some of these kids that may have gone out of high school and never gone to college?
Not really. I'm such a proponent against it. It's unbelievable. I think it really makes an absolute mockery out of the term student athlete. They put in the NCAA manual, student athlete. Come on, Dan. They're going there thinking about the cash register when they're going to get that drafted, and that's all they're thinking about, basically. They play, we get teased by them. I think personally, I've said from day one, I would rather see, it's only be a handful. I'd rather see a rule where they go on right from high school if that's their desire and that's their dream. People have dreams and desires, and if that's their desire and the NBA wants to draft them like a LeBron and a Kobe, let them go. But then once you step in college, you stay there 3 years, a la what exists in baseball, where there's harmony between the NCAA, harmony between everybody involved in Major League Baseball. It doesn't exist in basketball because the Players Association won't allow it to happen. And that really blows my mind because so many kids get hurt. So many kids, they sign, they go in there, and they get the 3 years, and they're gone. Development league, bounce around, not ready to play. We hear about those that make it. But what about all those that don't make it?
Sneaky team that you like in the tournament?
Well, I like Michigan State. I love the Spartans. I love everything about them. I think to win a national title, there are certain components that have to be there, and some of those components are, number one, I think you got to play great team defense. I think you got to rebound. They lead the nation in rebound margin. I think you got to have a star, and again, they have a star in Denzel Valentine at winning time to make big plays. I think you got to have a three-point shooter. They got a kid named Forbes who made 11 in one game, and I think when you have all those components, good backcourt play, you got a chance to win. And then you got a coach also who finishes off that formula, who can get people ready to play.
Before I let you go, tell me about your gala. I know you're raising money for kids battling cancer.
Well, Dan, it means so much to me. I'm 76 now. I act about 12, and I feel young at heart, and I've been so blessed in my life, and I want to give back. And one of the things that's special to me is raising dollars for kids battling cancer. If I tell you this, Dan, a lot of people won't believe this. Only 4 cents out of every dollar raised for cancer goes for kids, pediatrics. And that, my friend, is a crime. So every dollar we raise through the V Foundation with my gala is for kids. We have raised so far, in the 10 years I've done it, $15.2 million. Not enough. It's in the absolutely utilized for research grants in various forms of cancer for kids, but we need more. This year, I'm hoping to break a record. We're hoping to raise over $2.5 million in one night as we honor Urban Meyer, Ohio State, Bo Ryan, Wisconsin, who raised a lot of money for cancer out in Wisconsin, and we're honoring your friend and my friend, who I think is as great as it comes, Robin Roberts. And I think it'll be a blockbuster event. We'll sell out over 800 people. I need donations. I need sponsorships to get to $2.5 million. If you have a child out there, someone you love, because remember, that disease strikes when it does, it's brutal. What families have to go through. I talked to a dad the other day. What they have to go through. Sit there, watch their child do chemo, radiation. Please help me. Go to DickVitaleOnline.com. You can make a donation, or you can buy a raffle ticket, and we only have 100 left out of 1,500 on a brand new Mercedes convertible. $100 a chance right there at DickVitaleOnline.com. I thank you so much, Dan. I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to be a friend, and I'm proud to see what you've done with your career.
Thank you, buddy. Enjoy the tournament. Thank you, Dick.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Dan.